again, and thanks for joining me for another episode of Just Ask Kathleen. I'm going to start today with an email from Alan. His names have been changed, all the names are changed in these emails just to protect the anonymity of everyone who's emailed in. So this comes with a plea for help, really, from Alan. I'm 16 years old and my granddad is not very well. My mum and dad aren't telling me what's wrong with him, but I'm pretty sure he's got cancer. I want to know the truth because I love my granddad and we get on really well. Should I say something? Thanks. Well, Alan, yes, you absolutely should say something. I think your parents are trying to protect you and perhaps don't know how to tell you this news. It could be, of course, that he hasn't got cancer. They might just be struggling to come to terms with some other illness that he has, but I definitely think at 16 years old and with the relationship you have with your granddad, you should find out more. And this is all about being emotionally honest. And a lot of my work is about teaching clients how to speak up and how to say what they really feel. So I don't want you holding in all this emotion and concern and confusion that you clearly feel. So I would speak to your mum and your dad, or whichever parent you feel most at ease with, to discuss this. So simply say, look, I know something's not right with Granddad. I understand you might be worried at my reaction or how I'm going to take any bad news you might have, but I am old enough to hear whatever it is he's got, and I want to be able to help you guys, and I want to see him and I want to find out what's going on. I don't like this silence and not knowing. It might be a huge relief to your parents to be able to hear you say that and then to be able to share with you what's really going on. And I hope your granddad isn't as seriously ill as you think he is, but certainly by asking you'll be able to feel a sense of relief one way or another, because you need to know what's going on. So thank you, Alan, for writing in and asking that question. Now this one is another young man, and I'm going to call him Craig. Since my parents divorced, I've moved in with my mum and I feel really depressed. I find it really draining and would prefer to live with my dad, but he's too depressed to help me, plus he lives too far away. I've been given tablets for depression and they think I may have CFS, which is chronic fatigue syndrome. Could this be why? How do I deal with bad emotions about it? Well, Craig, I'm really sorry that you're going through this, and it sounds like you're really having a difficult time. I'm glad that you've been to speak to your doctor, who's clearly decided that he wants you to have these antidepressants for now. I'm going to start with your last question. You say, how do I deal with bad emotions about it? Well, bad emotions are really just held emotions. We have been brought up to believe we have positive and negative, or good and bad emotions. But actually, as far as your body's concerned, it sees that the only bad emotion is a held in emotion. So holding in love and joy is just as detrimental to our well-being as holding in grief and frustration. Holding in all that happiness is just as bad as holding in the sadness. It's all energy in motion that needs to be moved out constructively, and constructively is the key word here. Destructive emotion is when we blow the lid off the emotions and just have a right go at somebody. So constructive is when we're finding a way to say what we really feel. Now, you're in a situation here where I don't know the depths of what's going on for you. Actually, when you said you were feeling depressed, I was initially thinking I should just email you. I did email you for a few more questions, but you haven't written back to me, which is completely fine. Don't worry about that. I just wanted to see if I could give you a wee bit of support with this. Chronic fatigue clients of mine are often told they also have depression. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I think clients with chronic fatigue don't get chronic fatigue because they're depressed. They get depressed because they have the symptoms of chronic fatigue. That's my feeling about it. So the way to help you in this situation, Craig, is again about speaking up. You say that your mum, you feel drained when you're with your mum and you want to stay with your dad. I'm assuming you're still in school and that you can't go and live with your dad because he's too far away, and it would mean changing schools perhaps. I don't know. But this is about you really finding a way to articulate what you feel and what you genuinely are feeling. Now, clearly, you've already reached a point where you needed to go and speak to the doctor to express your feelings, and he clearly thought you were in a low enough mood that you needed to have support with antidepressants. So with your mum, obviously it's a sensitive area. Your mum's been through a divorce, you're going through this separation with your parents as well, and it's difficult. So I would say again, we're going to use a constructive way of expressing what you feel. So you come in from your school, and the positive opening might be, "Hi Mum, I'm glad you're home tonight. I really want to have a word with you. The event is, when you and Dad divorced, it really did make me feel," so now we're on to the feeling, "it made me feel confused, upset and sad. What I need you to know is that I would really like to spend some more time with Dad if that's possible. Is there any way we can arrange for that to happen, and what do you feel about that? What do you think we could do there?" The positive ending is really about showing your appreciation or your love to your mum and giving her a hug and saying, "I appreciate all that you do for me, and I know it can't be easy for you to hear this, but I love you both, and I just want to see Dad more as well." So it's a step-by-step process. You're really engaging with your mum and letting her hear what you feel, rather than sitting and thinking about it and wondering how to articulate it. Just come away and say it. I'm sure your mum loves you to bits, and she wants to be able to hear what you're feeling and what you're going through. So I hope that helps, Craig, and good luck with it all. I appreciate you writing in too. Okay, this is from a lady I'm going to call Anna. "I have split with my boyfriend for 2 years. We were in a relationship for 8 and lived together for much of that. During that time, I lent him a lot of money to help him out when he wasn't working. When we split up, I let the money issue go because he didn't have any to pay me back, and I felt guilty. 2 years later, he's doing okay, and I could really do with the money. We were on civil terms, but every time I try to approach him about the issue, he refuses to talk to me or just tells me to give him space. What should I do?" Well, Anna, it's not okay that he has, dismissed your attempts at trying to address the money issue. You lent him money, you're not together anymore, you want the money back. That is absolutely fair enough. And this is again about a constructive expression. He's not listening to you. So what I would advise here is that you write him a letter or you email him. And again, you use that template of positive, event, feeling, need, in brackets what I'd prefer, and positive ending. And when you're doing it, when you're doing this email or letter, get yourself into a position where you feel very grounded. Now you can do that by engaging all your senses in the moment you're in. So have an awareness of your feet on the ground, of the chair supporting your weight, of just being present in that position where you're at the keyboard or whatever. You then get more aligned with the feelings you have in the body, and you're using your head to articulate those feelings. So often when we have a conversation with somebody, we're way up in our head mind to head mind conversation, and it becomes very wordy, it's very ego driven, and it can be reactionary, defensive, and back and forth like this. If we practice the art of being grounded, being mindful of the moment we're in, we're far more likely to communicate from a body-mind place, from this heart center sort of place, where we're delivering an emotionally honest dialogue to that person, having a conversation with emotions rather than head. So in this situation, I would be getting in touch with the feelings that you have about this situation. Not about, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm big, you're small, none of that. Just really feeling the feeling you have about the fact that he dismisses you when you ask him about the money, give me space, all this stuff that's very much about keeping you out of the way of what he doesn't want to address. So you just sit there and you think about how you want to deliver this, and you feel the feelings associated with what you've been through in trying to get this money back. So positive opening, very loose. I hope this finds you well. The event is, when I try to speak to you about the money, you can be very dismissive of that. That's the event. The feeling, this makes me feel really frustrated, upset, because we had been on civil terms. What I need from you, what I need to happen now, is for us to have a conversation, or do this by email if it's easier for you, to arrange a way of you paying me back the money. I'm completely up for you paying me back in installments, or working out a way that suits you and me together. But one way or another, I need this money back. I appreciate times have been difficult for you, but right now I need to sort this out. I really appreciate you reading this. Thank you. Love, Anna. Or maybe not love, Anna, if you're finished with this one. Take care, all the best, Anna. It's probably a better ending. But you do need to be heard, and there's nothing more frustrating than feeling like you're just not being heard. So write it in an email, write it in a letter, but do it in that structured format so that you're really able to move out all the emotions associated with that, and then you're able to know that you've done that, and let's just see what happens after that. Do drop me another note to let me know how you get on with it, and I wish you all the best with that. Well, thanks very much for joining me for episode 2. I look forward to seeing you next week, and thanks again for all the emails that you send in. I really appreciate your support. Thanks very much. Bye for now.